Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club is the show where we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we are covering the psychological drama film Mother. Our thoughts and more coming up on Movie Club. Released in 2017, Mother was directed by Darren Aronofsky and stars Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, and Ed Harris. A couple's relationship is tested when uninvited guests arrive at their home, disrupting their tranquil existence. The film currently has a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for the movie. This not really a whole... There is some things to spoil with this movie. It's more so the meaning of it we don't want to spoil for you. So... Go ahead and watch it, then come back if you're interested. But stay tuned to see what we're covering next week because quite a change of pace, but another solid movie I can't wait to talk about. All right, Kevin, this week was my pick, and this is a movie I've been wanting to watch for a very long time because it is so controversial. People either love or hate this movie. Very few people seem to be in the middle, and very few people seem to really try to get what it means. But I was just been really excited to watch this movie. I've kind of known about its existence for quite a long time, and I have an idea of what it's about, at least to me. But had you heard about this movie before? You obviously have never seen it.
No, I've never seen it, but I have heard about this movie, not about the controversy status of it, but I have saw it when I came out. I saw the poster when it came out. It was very intriguing because it looked oil painted and stuff like that. So that's why I thought that was pretty cool. But anything else? No, I have nothing about it.
Gotcha. Well, that is going to mean that he is going to be ripe for telling what this movie truly means to. But before we do, want to go ahead. We're going to issue a spoiler warning, mostly for the message of the movie, what it's trying to say. We don't want to ruin that for you. We want you to go in with an open mind as much as possible. But let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So before we dive into the true meaning of the film, I kind of want to get to kind of more the surface level stuff, the cinematography, the performances, and all that. And I think that this movie is really unique, especially because it's a one location movie. You mostly get it inside the house, and as the house evolves, it really changes, and it doesn't feel like the same location, even though it is, which is really fascinating, and it gets into the idea of the movie itself. And then the performances are phenomenal. I think that Javier Bardem and Jennifer Lawrence are really good here. A weird couple, but they do make a good couple. Like, I wouldn't have expected them to act together as like a relationship, which is kind of interesting. But still really, really good performances. Well, what did you think?
I really love the performances. They make this movie for me because of how Javier's character is very eerie in this movie, and you don't understand what happens until the end of this movie as well, when everything kind of puts itself together, I feel like. But he's just he's a horrible man, because in my eyes, because all he wants is success, and he's not putting his wife before anything else, even when she has the baby and stuff like that. When I was watching it, are we doing spoilers?
We can start getting into it, yeah.
Okay, so watching the movie, and she's pregnant, and he just keeps bringing all of these people in, and she's having a hard time with everything. She's the one building the house. He hasn't done anything. Kind of a situation like that. She's basically the backbone of this relationship, but he sees it the other way because he makes the money out of it, and that's what I took away from it. But Jennifer Lawrence and Javier are fantastic in this movie. Like, they act their asses off, especially when they have their argument for the first time, and it feels so real, and it got me, like, I don't know, like my heart hurt a little bit when Jennifer Lawrence was yelling at Javier about everything that was happening.
Yeah, and it's why the performance works so well, and especially the motherhood aspect of it, especially when she loses the child, which is one of the most horrifying scenes in the movie. But the meaning goes way deeper, and we'll get into that in a moment. It truly is fantastic in the way that she handles that. And it's something really special. So there's not really any tiptoeing around this, and I'm so glad that you mentioned how much you hated
Yeah.
Bardem's character.
But he plays it so good. That's why I hated it.
Yeah, exactly. So where do I begin with this? There is a line in this movie that I absolutely love. Towards the end of the movie,
I know it. Yeah.
Because I think you read my review. There's a part where Javier Bardem's like, "Hey, stop! I love you," and she's like, "No, you don't, or you didn't, or you don't love me. You love how much I loved you," which is so special. And when you put that with the meaning and what it's trying to say, it makes it so much more poignant, I think was the word I was looking for. So this movie obviously is not a realistic movie. It is not a grounded movie. This movie is very metaphorical. This
very
is
artsy too.
Very artsy. But when you finally understand what it's going for, a lot of pieces are going to click in place. Do you have any idea what the movie might be about in any capacity?
Well, when I was watching it, I thought it was about the Javier, him, is like maybe, I don't want to say a cult leader that has to do sacrifices for him to get famous or something like that, to make him write poems. That's what I got from it. But it was just so weird, and I don't know if I can, maybe that wasn't the correct thing, but that's how I took away from the movie was, for him to be a better poet, he had to sacrifice or have people come into his house to make him write better in a situation.
Sure. And I feel like that's an understandable first kind of gleaning of meaning from what you're seeing, because it's not explicit on what's happening.
Yep.
So you're not too far off. I mean, well, you are far off, but like you're on the right track when it comes to him in kind of a cult leader status.
Yes.
So who is a entity, character, person, thing that seems to be more powerful the more people love him?
Oh, Michelle. Or sorry, the woman. I don't know.
No, I'm talking about Javier Bardem.
Oh.
But Javier Bardem is playing a version of a character.
Version of a character?
Character might be the wrong word. So it sounds like you're not really gonna glean it. Javier Bardem in this movie is God.
Oh.
Javier Bardem is God in this movie.
Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Nature. The house itself is the planet Earth.
Okay.
And the people that routinely show up throughout the movie are humans. The humans that inhabit the Earth.
Yes.
The first man that shows up, Ed Harris, is essentially Adam. His wife is Eve. They have their two sons, Cain and Abel, when one kills the other. And the obviously God gets off on the idea of people loving and adoring him. That's how he gets his power. Well, depending on how you look at it, that's my version of how I look at God as an entity. It's a statement on faith and religion and deity figures and everything. So if you look at it this way, right? So throughout the entire film, the Mother Nature, what we'll call Jennifer Lawrence, Mother Nature, is, and now to be fair, this is completely how I read into the film. You could read this completely differently. You could see this as the true story of a mother, right, who is concerned about people being around her child and how then the world takes their child away from them. You could totally read into that way, and that's not wrong. And I want to make that very clear. But from what I gleaned from it, this is the most realistic idea of what it's supposed to mean, given that Darren Aronofsky is, and his kind of views on religion kind of gives me the basis for this. So obviously God is getting off on people loving him.
Yeah.
right? And so if he would have kicked someone out, if they didn't say, "Oh, I know, I love your work. You're
Yeah.
like you're the best," and you know, there is no like serpent in the tree with the apple of knowledge thing that happens. The closest we get to that is the crystal that
Yeah.
breaks,
Hmm.
which could be attributed to that kind of a thing. But then Mother Nature doesn't want these people in her house because it's a very pure state of being. It's just her and God, right? And then obviously the house being the planet Earth, and then the
Hmm.
humans throughout the entire movie, like we humans are in real life, are giant pricks and are only self-serving, right? And we
Hmm.
just keep showing up and we keep showing up and we keep showing up and making things worse. We steal, we loot, we pillage, all the things that we do to the planet that are terrible. You know,
Hmm.
killing animals and incessantly destroying the environment, killing each other.
Hmm.
Like they're all doing this in the name of Javier Bardem's character, him or God.
Yeah.
The way that I'm choosing to look at this movie.
Okay.
Obviously, later in the movie, they get pregnant and they have a child. The child is not necessarily specifically supposed to be Jesus or a Messiah figure in any kind of way, at least not in my understanding. It's
Hmm.
more so, I guess you could look at it as religion as a whole, the connection between a deity and its followers, which is then given to the people. And then the people
Hmm.
twist it, distort it. It's about control and becoming powerful, right? No matter what religion, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, whatever, right? It's all man-made, right? So like it's like a whole thing. Like they twist it and they distort the purity of what it is,
Hmm.
right? And so that's why it's cannibalized. It's ripped apart when the baby is just killed, which is horrific. When you hear that neck
Yes.
snap as it's carried away, oh my god. So like that whole scene, and like he's basically a priest, right?
Yeah.
More in line with like a Christian priest with some like cultish drawings on him or whatever, but kind of takes that and he's like, and everyone's eating it like they do in I don't know if they do it in other non-Catholic Christian denominations. I was raised Catholic, so it's all I know, right? Like what you have like the wafer and then the wine or whatever. It's like them
Hmm.
eating the pieces of the baby like the Jesus kind of
Hmm.
thing. But then obviously there's the connection of motherhood being one of the most powerful forces on the planet. Like,
Hmm.
you know, being a father is one thing, but like mother, you're actually creating this life. And so you have a
Yeah.
very special connection to it. And so when that's taken away, she gets the way she does, which is
Hmm.
understandable and completely realistic. And as throughout we see the course of that movie, the house's heart is withering and dying. She has that
Yes.
connection to it, right? Because Mother Nature, planet Earth, and we
Hmm.
humans are withering and destroying that heart.
Yeah.
And then eventually it dies. And then the ending, obviously, you know, God, the perpetual creator, if it's outside of time and space or whatever, it assumes that it's a cycle, right? It's going to
Yeah.
keep happening over and over again because he can't change, Mother Earth can't change, or Mother Nature can't change, right? It's like these roles are so set, and
Hmm.
at the end of it, it's a different person, but it is still Mother Nature, and he's
Yeah.
starting again. Which,
Hmm.
so that's how I see the movie.
I mean, I can totally see how you think that too after you explaining it, because it is like that. It is,
Mhm.
he gets a lot of followers, it gets to his head, and then it becomes a whole fiasco on top of that, and all Jennifer Lawrence's character wants is the baby. He wants
Mhm.
to protect it because of how pure it
Well,
is, because
after she gets pregnant, that's all she wants. Like before that, it's the
yeah,
house and making sure the
it's
house
the
is
house.
rebuilt, and
Well,
yeah.
you can kind of say the house was her baby before she actually had a baby.
Mhm.
And that's true, because if she is mother nature and that is the world, is she's protecting the world, but when she has her own world in her, she wants to protect that instead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a really good take, actually. Now thinking about it, because a lot of the
It helps the
time
movie make sense.
it does. It
Yeah.
really does, because it's just, it comes at you so fast when everything hits the fan, pretty much.
Mhm.
And you kind of, I got maybe a little overstimulated at some points because I didn't know where to look and how to perceive it in types of ways. And I think I thought the Michelle Pfeiffer, her character had to do something with Javier's character as well. Something between them happened or anything like that, but that doesn't pan out to be anything. So it's like kind of like a false trick in my eyes. But
She's a character in the grand arcing narrative.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Which is obviously they're not specifically Adam and Eve. They're just called man and woman, and
yeah,
then oldest son and youngest son.
mhm,
But because it's you could take it anyway. I mean, again, like you could totally look into this as an exploration of motherhood
mhm,
and like how the world takes your baby away from you, and like all you want is kind of that purity, that relationship, and then the world just kind of seems to act against you. You could
mhm,
totally read into it that way. And I do think that everyone who watches this movie is going to look at it differently. And I think that if perhaps, I mean, it is a little clear in some of the things, right? Like it's very clearly Adam and Eve and then Cain and Abel, right? Like it is very clearly, if you're looking at this as a grounded movie, like
mhm,
how does the house just devolve into like riots and then like
yeah,
a cult worship den in the so it doesn't really make sense in a grounded kind of
mhm,
standpoint. But again, it is supposed to be very metaphorical. It is very supposed to be very visual representation of what it's trying to say. And I think
yes,
like again, the way that I look into it, just because of my personal value and beliefs, like is the whole religious angle that God is a huge asshole, right? Like so like that, but that's just how I see it, right? And everyone's going to
mhm,
look at it differently, which is what's really special about this. And I think that true art is going to be completely intangible and like again different for everyone. Everyone's going to look at it differently, which I really love. So,
mhm,
but I think the
it,
meaning is why I liked this as much as I did, or at least
mhm,
the perceived meaning. Because like on the surface level, it's well made, it's well shot. There are some wonky visual effects, sometimes where it
sort
doesn't
of,
look that
yeah,
good.
mhm,
My only real major criticism is that I think that it does get some poor pacing in the middle act of the film.
yeah, mhm,
It gets a little boring after the whole man, woman, and children segment, and before it leads into the pregnancy. It's a little slow in
mhm,
that point, but it is kind of going more like the Earth and the connection to the Earth, everything.
yeah,
But I think that first half and then the first act and the last act where it really shines. The second act is still really good, but it's just a little slow at points.
yeah.
It's really my only criticism.
Totally agree with it, and it's just again in my review I said it will need a second watch because with
Yeah,
this movie you can't get it on one watch. I
yeah,
feel like you can pick up something else on a second watch as well.
yeah. And I'm only saying all this based on what I kind of felt after a first watch, because this is the first time I've seen it.
Hmm.
On first watch, and then kind of what I've heard discussed about it before, and that's kind of
Hmm.
I think that also kind of helped attribute what I thought of the meaning. I could watch this again and see just from the motherhood aspect.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a lot more to go into in this, and again, I see the religious thing as being more believable just because Darren Aronofsky is a self-stated atheist, like not a religious person, and so
Hmm.
he's making a commentary on religion, which I really appreciate. As a fellow non-believer, like it's nice to see someone make a film like this to this level and this degree, and
Hmm.
make it as artsy as it is. But then you could also, again, you could glean other meanings off of it. It could mean anything to different people.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, all around though, I think it is a very strong movie, and it was actually, I think I enjoyed this far more than I was expecting to.
I even I did. I didn't have any expectations going into this movie, but the acting and the performances of this movie really got me like hooked in this movie, and that's what.
Mhm.
And the story is also really good because you just don't really understand what's happening until it all unfolds, which is really nice.
Yeah, and it's just like the way that it's designed, and the house itself, which is interesting because it's a huge house, but it also feels so constricting at
It's
points.
it's it. We didn't see all of the rooms. I feel like
No, for
in that
sure.
house. Hmm.
Yeah, it's really really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Alrighty, so this was my pick this week, so I'll go ahead and give my score for Mother first and my kind of final thoughts. I really love the like it's not an explicit meaning the film gives, but the meaning that I attribute to this movie and the way that I see it really means a lot to me, and my personal views and beliefs and values really lines up with this movie. I really like what Aronofsky was intending to do with this movie in my head. Beautifully made. Camera work is so personal and it's up close. It makes us feel like we're in the room. Performances are great. Jennifer Lawrence is fantastic here. Javier Bardem, among the best I've seen him, up there with No Country for Old Men. If there's anything I don't like, it's some poor pacing in the middle act of the film. And there are some wonky visual effects, but I think when you're going for this kind of ethereal, metaphysical, metaphorical type thing, it's kind of hard to do realistic effects. But I love this movie. I love the message that I get from it and kind of the meaning. So I gave it a 97 out of 100. Probably one of my highest scores in a while for a movie club movie. Really, really enjoyed this one. What about you?
Very cool. Yeah, I agree with you. The acting in this movie is absolutely fantastic. That's what got me into the movie, and that's what kept me in it. I do think there are some slow moments in this movie, but it's not a long movie. It's only a 2-hour movie, so can't really fault it on that part. And it's so crazy that you need to rewatch it again. I feel like if you don't get it the first time, wait a little bit and then rewatch it, because that's what I might do as well, to get a different feeling of this movie, because it is fantastic and riveting, but it's also mysterious in a way as well. So I didn't give it a high score. I only gave it a 77 out of 100, but that's because it will probably need a second watch for me.
It could go up, it could go down. It always, things always change. Because like it also depends on, like any movie that's, especially movies like this, where it's trying to go for this more lofty message, right? Or it's more metaphorical. It's more about kind of what you take away from it. That's going to change depending on your mental state and how you're looking at things, right? Like, whether you're upset or whether you're happy or angry or sad or whatever. So it can really mean anything to anyone. But that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. The question now falls to you. What do you think of Mother? This is probably the most controversial movie, because a lot of people either hate this or love it. So I'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comments down below. But just remember to be respectful of one another, because we're all human beings, except for Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem in this movie. But next week, we're covering a film noir classic. We're going to be talking about The Maltese Falcon, which is a classic Hollywood movie. Can't wait to talk about that with you. But make sure to watch it before next week so you're not spoiled. But thank you so much for watching. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things, because this goes live every single Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have a live stream every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen.